A Light in the Darkness Chapter 57, Fan Fiction by Azazyel. You know, when someone literally cobbles together a spaceship by hand to flee from you. I drawled as the sister of battle in the lead of their company held her hand over her oversized plasma pistol in her holster as I spoke. Typically that fucking means they want absolutely nothing to do with you, I said dryly, and the sister of battle only had an eyebrow rise before snorting. Yes, well, I truly couldn't care less of your desire to avoid me. She spoke flatly before taking a breath to continue. Now, as to the reason why I have tracked you across a whole sector of space, putting my crew and sisters at risk in closeness to the warp storms is fairly apparent. I tilted my head to the side in honest confusion as I wryly smiled. Honestly? No, I don't know, I have been busy for the last few of months. Miss Lucia Junaya, Imperator revered evangelist of the Alabaster Dawn, branch commander of the Ecclesiarchy's Ebon Chalice. I said, making quotation marks with my hands at her long-ass name and title as I shook my head. Look, I am not going to Terra or getting caught up in the Imperium's politics, I said bluntly, and her face tightened. A moment of silence rang out before she spoke, and her eyes locked onto Ellesmere behind me. Do you think you have a choice in the matter? Do you think with your power and how the foul gods watch your actions in the shadows that the Imperium and other factions aren't watching and won't seek to either use or snuff out your potential? She demanded before she sneered. Oh, but of course, a farcer is already standing behind you. Have you laid with her and become an Xeno lover? I took a deep breath as I contained my desire for violence, but then Ellesmere spoke, and I realized we were in deep shit. I typically keep my disdain for the ignorant Monkey to a minimum, as Jake has shown me the potential your kind can become even without completely remaking the humans being, in the case of your Astartes. Even as Lucia, the sister of battle, snarled at the Astartes being insulted, Ellesmere continued with the same cold, cruel voice as she spoke down to the sister of battle. But I am once again reminded of how humanity's greatest foe is in of itself its stupidity, and willingness to destroy itself in the end. Ellesmere spoke and my eye twitched as Lucia whipped out her plasma pistol in a flash of movement augmented by her power armor as the gun arced with blue lightning, and in slow motion, my arm flashed outwards. A loud, harsh crackling filled the surroundings as my hand, covered in dense chi, held the ball of superheated plasma that was aimed directly at Ellesmere's chest, and I made silent eye contact with Lucia as I literally ate the ball of plasma out of my hands before lightly burping out some smoke as the plasma flash boiled the saliva out of my mouth. Don't do that again, I said bluntly. She chewed on her lip, and I noticed how her hand at her side was weirdly flat at her side, recalling the time we fought Gene Stealers. I realized she was likely giving hand signs to the other sisters of battle behind her, as well as the Imperial Guard soldiers that were setting up fortifications. Just leave, I don't want trouble. I don't want to kill people, please. I almost begged, and she sighed. Will you come to Holy Terra and show us the methods of making non-warp corrupted created materials? She asked, and I scoffed at the idea of going to Terra, but just giving away the art of making wraith bone and other warp spawn stuff wasn't difficult at all for piskers, but I refused to go to Terra on principle. I will gladly give the methods you ask for, as they mean little to me. But going to Terra is off the table. I will not be leaving this planet. I finished, and she sighed. I feared you would say that. She sighed and then turned around, which shocked me, but as she did so, from out of the drop ship came a detachment of some of the Imperium's finest. The Grey Knights clad in grey and gold Astarte armor with dozens of holy symbols attached to their armor that radiated the power of humanity's fate and purity. Armed with some of the most powerful weapons even a space marine could hope to wield, as they bore power swords, spears, and terrible gun-shaped weapons that made my senses scream out in warning. How? The Grey Knights dash, I started, and Lucia spoke up. The Emperor has sent them dreams through the Empyrean, and thus they joined my forces for this holy task. Jake Barris, born off of the planet Beruus, you are hereby being conscripted into the Holy Order of the Inquisition. We are taking you home to Terra to be gently re-educated into understanding your importance to humanity. If our holy emperor sent dreams of your location to his greatest swords in these trying times, then your importance cannot be understated. She said, determination in her voice as she eyed the Grey Knights, and then she continued. After which you will be remanded into the custody of the Sisters of Battle and Silence so we can protect you in. She paused as she seemingly chewed on the words before speaking bluntly. Ahem, ensure your lineage will be continued past your passing in the coming millennia, Lucia said with a deep breath before she focused on Ellesmere, who tensed beside me as the 24 Grey Knights. But Xenos cannot be allowed the sin of living. I am sorry, Jake, but please step aside. She finished as the Grey Knights took those words as the signal to approach. You don't want to do this, Lucia, I said wryly, and then, as one of the Grey Knights grabbed my shoulder to move me out of the way so he could aim his bolter at Ellesmere, I remained stock even as the strength of the Grey Knight made the bedrock beneath my feet crack and crater into itself. The slitted ice-blue eye sockets of the Grey Knight's helm actually tilted downwards as he seemingly realized his arm couldn't move me, and then I heard him speak with a deep, gravelly voice. Child, move aside. You, born of the darkness of a hive city, don't understand the holy blood you have been blessed with. Don't sully your humanity by lying with Xeno's filth. I sighed, and then I grabbed the Grey Knight's armored wrist, and all could hear as my hand tensed as the Grey Knight's blessed armor loudly groaned under the strength of my grip. You don't want this. If I fight, I will end up killing some of you. I said wryly as I wasn't deluded enough to think I would get out of this fight scot-free and uninjured. These were the fucking Grey Knights. Other than the more powerful demons I killed, I had met no other combatant at these beings' levels, with how they were all higher-level piskers, and even now I was resisting the pressure of their minds and souls' pressure upon my own.